May peace and blessings be with all of you. I hope that you are having a fantastic Monday so far. I am going to talk about Canva hacks today. I am getting asked a lot of questions about Canva, and I thought that wouldn't it be cool if we just did a session and talked about a few things that I think would really help you make content more efficiently. And since we are using Canva all the time, I think anything we could do to make things faster, better, why not? We should be all for it. Okay, let's get started. I am going to share my screen and we are going to go into Canva. Okay, so what you're taking a look at is a few new logos that one of my super awesome graphic designers on my team has created. We are launching our Done For You services where we are able to help you with video editing, with the content creation in Canva, and also for building your funnels and automations and things like that. So that is heading your way very soon. We are almost ready, almost ready. But here's how we basically create things. We basically create several different designs. So my team creates several different designs. I just tell them, about the idea. They are the beautiful, amazing, brilliant minds who create all these things. And then I have some things to choose from. And then if there's something I like, then I say, okay, let's go with this. So I believe the one we're going with is going to be this one. I actually really like this one, but then I had them spell out SOT, which is simplify one thing. So this is the logo that we're going to go with for this program, for the services, and I'm just super duper excited. I know I get excited about technology things all the time. Okay, so let's say if you have a design like this, while you're creating it, you have multiple different pages, but there is only one page that you want to share with someone else. How do we do that? So I know if you try to copy the design or something like that, sometimes it's very confusing and it doesn't copy everything over and it is a little confusing, right? So here's what I want to share. I'm going to share two different things with you, two different methods with you, and you pick whichever one works best for you and go with that. Okay, so here are two different ways of copying a design. So we have multiple pages in this file. The first one is very easy. I'm going to highlight everything and copy. But before I do that, I want to click on File in the top left. And just so that I know the size of this design, because if I want to copy this and keep it as is, in the top left, right below where the file name is, it's going to show you the size, which is 500 pixel by 500 pixel for this design. So for copying a design, here's what you want to do. Instead of just coming in here and highlighting things, because sometimes you also have a background or something, the easiest thing and the best thing to do is to actually be outside of this file design and just click on here, hold and drag and all the way through. So that is going to highlight everything and it's going to select everything. And I am usually just hitting Control C on my keyboard to copy everything. And then I would paste it into a new file. So I'm going to go up to File and I'm going to say Create a new design. And from here, I'm going to select Custom Size. I'm going to put in the same size as this one. And I'm going to create a new design. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to hit Control V on my keyboard, which is to paste that design. So that's how I would do it. And then I can share this file. I would, of course, rename it, right? This would be my final design. And I would share it with people, just this one copy and not all of the other ones, right? So this is if you are working in a file where you don't want to share the entire file with someone and you only want them to have maybe your final design or something like that. This is an easy way of handling that. I hope this is helpful. Okay, another way of doing this, I'm going to go up here and I actually want to go to my home page. Okay, so I'm in the original design. The other way, if you don't want to copy, if you don't want to highlight and copy and you're afraid some elements may not come over or something like that, then the other way to handle this is going back up to File and going down here and clicking on Make a Copy. You will make a copy. It'll basically create a copy of this file, this design, and it'll generally call that copy of, and then it'll keep the same one, right? Same name after copy of. And I'm going to say final design for DFY logo, right? And then I'm in here and I'm just going to delete all of the pages that I don't need. So I'm going to delete this one too, keeping this one and deleting everything else. So that's another way of doing that. If this was too much, like if deleting one page at a time was too much, I'm gonna actually undo a few. You can also click on the little grid view in the bottom right corner, and you can actually select multiple at the same time by keeping your, let's see, can I keep my control key down? Yeah, I am keeping my control key down. I'm using a Windows machine, a PC, but I think on a Mac, it's the command key. I think if it's not, let me know. And yeah, so I'm going to select multiple and then I can just hit the little trash can at the top and that would delete multiple pages all at the same time. And when I'm finished, I can actually close the grid view by clicking on the little grid in the bottom right corner again. So two different ways of basically copying a design where you have multiple pages and now that you're going to share with someone, you don't want to confuse them and don't want to give them all the pages. You just want to work off of the final version, and this is how you would do that. Okay, now the next part is sharing, because sharing trips people up all the time, and I want to make sure that you're not one of those people who's getting tripped up by this, because we have multiple ways of sharing our designs in Canva with people. I'm going to talk about 3 different scenarios. One scenario is where you are giving someone access to the same design. You want them to be able to edit the same design. So you're not creating multiple copies. You want someone else or another team to work on the same design and be able to edit that at the same time. You're collaborating virtually and you want to capture all the changes in the same design. That is scenario number 1. The second scenario is where you want someone to be able to view your design and comment on it, but not be able to edit your design, right? So that is view only access. So that's scenario number 2. And scenario number 3 is where you want someone else to have a copy of your design where they can make their own copy and edit it in their own Canva account, but not be able to change your design, not be able to affect your design, what you have created. So those are 3 different scenarios. The first one, generally, we would use it with our VAs where either they initiated a design or we created a design and now we both want to be in the file at the same time and be editing it and all of that. That would be scenario number 1. The second one is when you have created a design and let's say you created it for a client or somebody and you just want them to be able to see that version and be able to comment on it and not be able to edit that. That would be view only permission. Or if you are sharing it with your team or your group where you want multiple people to see what you're building, what you're creating, but you don't want them to change anything on there, right? Because sometimes we are collaborating with other people where we are just so excited about, something we've created, like a workbook or something like that. We want other people to be able to see it, but not be able to change our design, because if you share it with the wrong permissions, guess what? They don't even realize they're in the file and they start making changes to it and they don't realize that they're editing your original master copy, and you don't want to do that. And the third scenario is where we have built something beautiful and unique, and we really want other people to be able to take that and customize it for their own brand, their own stuff. So in that scenario, we're really sharing a template and we want them to be able to click on it, be able to open it in their own Canva account, and then make edits to their own local copy of it and not change your original master copy. So those would be the different scenarios I would say exist. Let me know if everything I'm saying so far is making sense. And if something is not, let me know and I will elaborate on that further. Okay, so here we go. Share permissions. This is hack number 2. In the top right corner, I'm going to click on the share button. The first one is I'm going to give people access. Let's say I'm going to give, I'm going to just give my personal account access to this. So I have a Canva account that is a free account that was created with my personal, and I'm going to give someone access. I'm going to send them this notification and I'm going to keep the permission as can edit. I want them to be able to edit this same file, and I'm going to send them this. I can add a little message. They'll receive an email with a link in it and they'll be able to open that. Please do not check this box where it is you're inviting them to your team unless you truly want to invite them to your team. If you're inviting them to your team, if you have a team account, and depending on how many licenses you have for Canva, it may charge, it will technically add them to your team and it may charge you extra for them. So please do not check this box unless you truly, truly want to invite someone to join your Canva team. And then, it takes up licenses from your pro account. So this is how I would share that, and I would just click on share and they will receive an email with this file. And when they open it, then they're also able to check this out. It says your team has 2 people. The yearly can depend on up to 5 people. There we go. So it's saying, do you want to add them to your team member? No, I do not want to add them. I don't want to invite them. I don't want to invite my personal account, and that's it. I'm just gonna leave it at that. And now they have received an email and they can log in and edit this at the same time as me, my personal Canva account. Okay, so that was one way we would share that. The other one is if we only want to be able to share, and how you can tell if you have shared it with other people and stuff like that or not. When you click on the share button again, you'll start to see their names pop up over here. So this person can also edit. I'm the owner. Okay. So the next one is a couple of different ways of handling this also, but I'm just going to show you the easiest way. I like using this public view link. If I just click on public view link, it's basically going to create this as a public view link. I'm going to click on create public view link, and here's the link that you can copy. So share that with people, and if you open it, this is what they're going to see. Let me see what they're able to do with this. Are they able to comment on it also? Edit document. I think they're only able to view it if you do it this way. But they can see the entire design. If there are multiple pages in it and all of that, they're able to see it, right? So I would do that if you truly just want somebody to be able to view your design and not be able to edit that. This is the best way to handle that. If you want someone to do that, but then also be able to comment on it, you can. Let's say I'm going to add my other email. Let me add simplify one thing. And in here, instead of edit, I'm saying can comment. So if I am giving this account specific permission to be able to comment, then they can open it and add comments. Using this little comment feature, they're able to comment on this document, but not be able to edit that. They're just providing feedback. So sometimes if you're a service provider or doing done-for-you design services and things like that, you may want to share the live version of the design, because then as you're making changes, they're able to see the updates and things like that, but they can only comment and they're not able to edit that at the same time. So that is what we typically do when we are providing done-for-you design services. The version, when we share it with the client, we don't want them to go in and make changes until we have given them the final version, because otherwise you can't tell who made what change and what version you're on and all of that. So once we have created the final version, that is the one that they're then able to edit, but not while we're going through and creating different things for them. We just want them to be able to comment on it and provide us feedback so we can handle those changes for them. Okay. So are you with me so far? I've shown you how to give someone edit permission to your document, how to create a public view link so that they can only view it, no comments, how they can even have the link not be able to edit, but still be able to comment on it. And the last one, so I guess it's 4 scenarios, not 3 scenarios. Okay, last one is where you want someone else to have a copy of this design and in their own account though, not be able to edit your master copy, but they can start with your design, add their own brand, logo, blah, blah, blah to it, right? And they can use your design as a starting point. So in that case, you want to click on share, and this time you will click on template link. You're creating a template. You're going to click on create template link, and you are going to share this link with them. If I open this link, you'll be able to see what it does. You won't see the edit template. I mean, they won't be able to see edit template. They will only see this option, which is use template for new design. So what this does is when they click on this button, it's going to open it up in their own Canva account, and then they can make edits to that themselves. So this is the way you want to share. Anytime you are giving someone a copy of your design, you want them to modify it, make it their own, and not be able to edit or change your original design. So I hope this is helpful. I can't tell you how many times this becomes confusing. I want you to know all the different scenarios and be able to use the right share permissions. Okay, so the next hack I want to talk about is something called this position. And the way you want to turn that on is, if let's say this is a design, right? There are lots of different elements to it and all of that. And I want to know what else is added to this design. I can click anywhere on the design and I can click on this new toolbar that appears. I'm going to click on position. And what this does is it opens up this panel on the left, which is super powerful. You can look at the arrange settings and be able to see, if you click on any element, it'll show you, you can then access it and be able to bring it forward or backward and look at all the different layers. You can also adjust the height and width of an element through here if sometimes just using the mouse is not enough. Sometimes you're trying to get it precisely a certain pixels or something. You're able to do it through here. You can also align things because I find this to be super duper helpful, where if something you want it centered on the page, rather than trying to do it like this yourself, you can actually click on center and it'll actually center it on the page for you automatically, right? So this is super duper helpful to have access to this panel over here. But what I love even more is this layers option, where sometimes you are not even sure what is on the design. And sometimes you're trying to grab an element that you can't even get to. So for that, seeing this layers option is super duper helpful because then you can click on that and it'll actually highlight it for you. And you can even click on the three dots over here. And sometimes you have to bring it to the front or something to be able to edit that. So super duper helpful. I don't know why people don't teach this in school, but I guess Canva was not available when we were back in school, but super duper helpful to be able to access this menu from position. And I'm able to do a lot more just through here by accessing these layers and these arrange options. So I just wanted to share that with you also. Helps with alignment, helps with sizing, helps with how it's arranged on the page. Okay, so we're going to talk about the next hack, which is hack number 4. I absolutely love this one too. Should I open up a different design or are we good with this? We're probably good with this. Let's just go with it. Okay, so one other thing I absolutely love is under the file menu, go to settings and you want to add, I like showing rulers and grids. So if I am here and I am not exactly sure if something is fully centered or positioned a certain way or something, and I want to know how far away from the margins it is or something like that. Like this design, I don't think that this is fully in the center and all of that. So to be able to look at it and just make sure we're not going crazy, because I think I spot things like that quite easily because I feel like I came from an audit background and we were always looking for the what doesn't fit. Yeah, it's a blessing and a curse. So I feel like I can spot it, but if I want to be super sure, right, if it's aligned properly and stuff like that or not. So you can click on file and you want to go to settings and you want to turn on show rulers and guides. So if you turn on rulers, it's going to show you these rulers at the top and on the left also. Oops. Okay, so top and left. So you're able to, if you click on something, then you're able to see how far from the center this is or from the edge this is and all of that, right? So another thing that is super helpful is adding guides. There is a way to add guides through here also. You can add guides, but then it wants you to tell it how many columns and blah, blah, blah. I usually don't do it like that. I'm going to hit cancel on here. What I like to do is I just add my own guides by clicking on the ruler on the left or on the top. I'm going to click and hold, and I'm going to start to add my own guides. Let's say I wanted something like a I don't know, 130 or something, 130 pixels or something like that. And then from the end also, I wanted to have however big this design is. So it's 500 minus 130 would be what? 370? Am I doing the math right? Check my math, please. 69, almost. So sometimes you just have to play with it a little bit. Okay, 369. See how this is not in the center, right? So I would then adjust this a tad bit to make it center or something like that. I also could have just clicked on position if everything was grouped together. I also could have hit position and then I would center it, right, to make it super duper aligned. But these guides are super helpful to know like where something should be positioned, especially if you're looking to create like banners, like Facebook banners or YouTube channel banners and all of that. There's stuff that gets cut off and all that. So when we're adding these guides, we're basically saying, okay, this is my safe area. I can design here, and anything beyond this is going to get cut off on one device or something like that or another, right? So these are super duper helpful to add guides. We do these all the time when we're building journals and things like that for people. There are margins that you want to leave off. You want to make sure there's no design there, because otherwise when it gets printed, it may get cut off and all of that good stuff, right? So just wanted to show you where the guides were, how you could add them very easily. And then once you add them, then they're available for every page. So you don't have to add it separately to each page. They are available over here, and you can just use them to view if your designs are aligned or not. Okay, so I hope you like my hack number 4. I'm going to share one more. Okay, we are going to go, and actually we'll just keep this the same design. And if you feel that this is too cluttered or cumbersome or something, you can always come up here and you can, after you're done, you can actually hide the ruler, and that will just get rid of it. Rulers and guides, you can just hide them and they'll go away. Okay, so next one is, my 5th hack is Magic Resize. So let's say we created this design. Let's say this was optimized for maybe Instagram in square format or something like that, but now we want to post it on a different platform. Let's say maybe Facebook in landscape or portrait or something. And I want to just be able to take the same design, but I want to resize it. Sometimes you also create designs, maybe you're doing a presentation or something, which is generally landscape, but then you also want to create a flyer from the same design that you want to share on social media, which could be square or in portrait and like vertical view. Then the easiest thing to do is to really just go into that design and come up here and click on resize. So this Magic Resize is really a pro feature. So you have to be on Canva Pro to be able to use this. But I'm going to show you another hack if you don't have Canva Pro, how to get around that also. So hang tight. Okay, so easiest thing to do is to just come up here, click on resize, and you can either custom resize it, or you can say if there is a different size that you like. For example, this one is YouTube thumbnail, which is more landscape. So let's just say we want to just resize it in this size. I'm going to click on that, and it's going to ask me, do you want to resize this design in its place, like this file, this existing file, you just want to resize this file, or you want to copy and resize. Copy and resize will create a new copy of this design and resize that copy, and we'll leave the original one alone. So that is what I want to do in this case, because otherwise my graphic designer will yell at me because I don't want to change the dimensions of the beautiful work that she's done. So I'm going to click on copy and resize. So what this is going to do is it's going to do its best and try to place all of these things on a landscape design, and something is going to come over correctly and other things are not going to come over correctly and all of that. But at least you have a starting point, and then you can adjust as needed. You can say, okay, I really needed it to be closer over here, or I'm going to just move all of this to center or something like that, right? So you can group things together and then you can position them to the center. There we go. So you can very easily change the size of an existing design without having to fully recreate it from scratch. If you have Canva Pro, it makes it super duper simple. But let's say you don't have Canva Pro. Let's go to this file. Let's say we didn't have Canva Pro and we still wanted to be able to do this. You want to then come up here and you want to highlight the entire thing like we did at the beginning. And we are going to hit Control C on my keyboard. We're going to go to File, and we're going to create a new create new design, and we're going to select custom size. I think the size of this file was what? This was 1280 by 720. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to say 1280 by 720, and I'm going to create a new design. It's going to create this design in this size, and I am going to actually, let me just hold. I'm going to just do that, and then I'll just make it bigger. Everything comes over all grouped together. It's not quite grouped together, but when initially it's coming over, it is like that. So you can easily just adjust the size of it. And then once you are done, then you can click somewhere, and now everything is movable separately as well. So the trick is keeping it all together and resizing the elements while they're all grouped together and then letting it go, and that will do the trick. So a few more steps. Canva does not make it super duper simple, but still so much better than having to recreate the entire design in a new size of a file if you don't have Canva Pro. So I just wanted to share both ways in case you had Canva Pro and didn't have Canva Pro, you are still able to do that. Okay, so those were all the 5 hacks that I wanted to go over with you today. I have a bonus one if anybody's interested. Should we do a bonus one? Does anybody want a bonus one? I get so excited about this stuff. Can I share one more? Please, allow me. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I am gonna go to the file menu and we're gonna create a new design. I am gonna go to, I don't know, let's create a Facebook post. Landscape Facebook post. Apparently, landscape Facebook post is 940 by 788 pixels. Who knew? Okay, that's fine. All right, so I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go to my uploads and I am going to go to my photos. Something that we have uploaded in the past. Okay, I love this photo. Let's go with this. Check that out. Okay, so I am going to go over here and I'm going to make myself a little bit bigger. And I am going to, I don't know, we'll just add a background over here. We are going to go and add a background. What's a good background? We have recently used these backgrounds. I don't know. Let's do these. The bubble circly thingy majiggies. Okay. So I'm adding that and then I'm adding myself over here. And I want to be able to remove this background, even though this was a beautiful background. I'm going to remove this background and I want to show you how to do that. So super duper simple. If you have Canva Pro, you just click on the image and click on BG remover, which is background remover. You just click on that and Canva is going to try its best. It's going to do its best. It's going to try to adjust and remove the background. Check this out. Super cool. Okay, I'm going to actually make myself a little bit bigger and I'm going to line myself up with the bottom of this thing and I'm going to position myself in the center. I don't know what this little rings are in the background, but it's okay. We'll leave that alone. Okay, so just like that. So if, for example, something did not come over correctly or something, you can click on, is it background remover that you click on? Yes, you click on background remover and it basically opens it in that. And if you want to erase something more, for example, like if something did not come over correctly, you can actually change your brush size and you can actually click on erase and you can say, okay, so I want to just zoom in a little bit more. Nobody teaches this stuff, friends. Nobody teaches stuff. You actually want to come in here and you're going to say, okay, maybe it got left something on the design or something like that, and you wanted to just erase it some more, you would actually just go with a brush around that and you just erase it. Can I just erase this a little bit just so that I can demonstrate how beautifully, perfectly this works? So here we go. I totally messed up my job, but just wanted to demonstrate like how you're able to do that. And you can control the brush size. You can make it bigger, smaller, whatever. And then you can adjust whatever. Canva tries to do a really good job, but sometimes it can't tell your clothing or your skin color or something against the background. So then it either erases too much or does not erase enough. So you can either erase more or restore more. So you can adjust that. And with the paintbrush, you can actually just say, you know, how big of a change you want to make. And once you're done, you just click on X and it'll basically make that available. So one other thing I like doing over here is I like clicking on edit and we can also give ourselves a little shadow to make ourselves pop out some more. So do a little shadow, add a little glow. And for the glow, I want to maybe make it, what color glow should we make it? Should make it gold. We can make it gold or we can even make it white. We can even make it white glow. I should like the little yellow glow. I want to be glowy. I could also do a pink glow if I want. And then I can also adjust the size of the glow. Like if I want to make the glow a little bit bigger and the intensity of the glow, like if I want it less intense or more intense, I control that also. And there you go. Just like that, you have it. You also have like other things like outline and other options also available. Like you could do an outline. If I could do, let's say a white outline or something, this will do that. You can tell the outline. Yeah, black outline. Yeah, there's a lot you can do in here. Just come in here and play with it. You can also change the size of the outline because sometimes you see like people have like a white outline around their picture. That's how they're doing it. I personally like the glow option quite a bit. I use glow a lot. And if there's a color that I like, what did I do? If there is a color I like from the design itself, so if I click on here, am I able to grab the color dropper thing over here? Not for the blur color, that's interesting. Usually you can tell what color, like if I wanted to make the outline or the shadow the same as my hijab color, I could make that also. I also have this little extension on my browser, which is called the, what's it called? This is called extension, eyedropper. Eyedropper extension for Chrome can also do that. I can actually just click on pick a color and I can actually come in here and have something selected and it'll show me what the color is of that. And I can, right here, copy that. She picked a darker color and I can use that as the outline color. There we go. Make it a little more intense. Oh man, look at that. I am beautiful. Okay, so something like that. I feel like I'm going on a tangent over here, but I can be in here and play with it all day long. But this is what I wanted to share with you today. 5 hacks and a bonus one. I hope that you enjoyed today's session. I also want to talk briefly about the fun and adventurous things I have going on in life. We have started a program recently. It's called 30 in 30 bite-size learning for GoHighLevel or OneTech, if you or any other GoHighLevel white label version that you may be using. This is a fantastic program. What we're doing is we're meeting for 30 days in a row for 30 minutes each day, taking things in bite-sized chunks and learning a new feature every day. We are on day 7 today. If you haven't yet joined and want to get in, you still can. It is only $30. You're getting 30 trainings, 30 live trainings, and lifetime replays for that. If you would like to check that out, I'm going to actually share my screen again and share the link. I can also drop the link in the chat also. So let's see, simplify one thing, bite-size learning. Byte is spelled as B-Y-T-E because I'm a tech nerd and I thought that would be interesting, that would be fun. So bite-size learning is available. If you want to jump in, you still can. We are on day 7 and you will get access to all of the replays of the previous sessions. Also, if you want to take a look at what are all the different topics we're covering, we have also provided that in here. I'm having a blast doing this. So yesterday we talked about profile setup. So we're not skipping weekends either with this program. And yesterday we talked about the profile setup and we had a few minutes available. So I also talked about brand boards. So even though I have this beautiful plan that I'm following, but if there are other things that I'm thinking of that could be helpful, and if we have time in the session, I'm also answering additional things and, you know, adding even more topics. So super duper helpful. If you want to jump in, you still can. And hopefully I will see you there. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing this. Elizabeth is saying, thank you. Tina is saying, thank you. Elizabeth says, pretty in pink. Whoa. And April said, love bonuses. April is saying, such an amazing program. I've learned so much already. Woohoo! That makes my heart happy. That makes my heart happy. Anytime anybody lets me know after they have either watched the training or attended it live, any insights they're gaining, or they're able to say, I did it. I was able to do this. That makes me so happy because I do not want any entrepreneur to feel held back because of technology, because I know technology is daunting sometimes and it is overwhelming. I want to make sure that we're simplifying it every step of the way for you. So if there are any questions that you have as you're going through the program or pretty much anything that I cover, please let me know. I want to make sure that you are being helped and nothing is getting in the way in launching your programs and putting your amazing work out there, because I want you to create the goodness that you're meant to create, and I want to be a facilitator of your success. I hope you are having a good time and enjoying yourself in the group. If you have any offers or anything that is going on in your life that you want to share with the community, please feel free to do that. You do not need my permission. Just go in there and create a post and let other people have eyes on your stuff. Okay. I love you all. I will see you soon. May peace and blessings be with you. Bye.